Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Hold That Movie Review. I'm Dave. That's Scott. We are here to review today Metropolis, 1927 classic by Fritz
Wow.
Lang. One of the writers was Thea von Harbo, and Fritz Lang was uncredited.
Hmm.
Uh, I have a DVD somewhere. My DVD is probably maybe an hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes. Evidently, they found some footage. They
Lots of
fixed.
footage.
They when they initially released this movie, it failed miserably at the theater. They went
Really?
back in, yeah, went back immediately and edited it, cut it down to time so people would sit in a
Stay.
theater. They still didn't make their money back.
Mm.
I think they said it was five, whatever German currency was back there. It wasn't francs, it was Deutschmarks, right?
I think so.
Let's see, it was 5 million Deutschmarks.
Wow.
It was some ungodly amount of money at
It shows.
the time. And Fritz Lang had a vision.
Oh, yeah, he had a vision.
For years, everybody thought they just, the editing, they thought they just lost all of the recordings. There was nothing left. In 2010, they found in Argentina a 16 millimeter, evidently full length or almost full length movie. They cleaned it up, and I think that's some of the stuff that we were watching. And that wound up being what, 3 hours?
It was 2.5
Two,
hours.
2.5 hours.
And
And
I
what
could
we
tell where stuff was cut in because we
right,
went from a really nice restoration,
right, right,
beautiful, beautiful restoration. I mean, it looked like it was shot today
right.
to something that clearly looked 100 years old and was probably so degraded that's the best they could do.
That's what they said. It was a 16 millimeter at the time. They going to the whatever millimeters that they had.
35 or whatever it
Yeah,
is.
and they were
I'm not
trying to
sure.
get it to fit. They had to clean it up and fit. It works really good. I mean, for what they had, they did
It
really good.
does.
I also found two more versions on YouTube. I don't know how much because I was not going to sit there and start watching it again right after I finished it.
No.
There's two more versions. One's a 3 hour version and one's almost 4 hours.
Oh my God.
So I don't know how long I was reading, trying to find out exactly how long the original version was.
This is
I guess
crazy.
the footage wasn't all of it. It was just like a much more uh, complete cut.
Yeah.
So I don't know which is which. I don't know if they found more. All I've been able to do is find like the 2010 when they found that.
Right. Well,
The
here's
sorry, go ahead.
no, my thoughts on that is, yeah, what I watched was 2.5 hours. And I'm going to tell you, I could have taken an hour out of it and still told the same story and still had the
Probably.
same impact
Yeah.
easily. This is a very bloated movie, maybe because they put that stuff in. And
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it just needed to move much faster. But a lot of that has to do with, folks, this is a silent film. So depending on where you watch it, you're going to
Yeah.
have a different soundtrack going behind it. You don't have Foley sounds. You don't have sounds of feet walking or things
Right.
happening and sound effects.
Right.
There's no sound effects. There's no dialogue. You get a card that gives you one sentence to sum up what you know was a paragraph worth of things that I really wanted to hear.
Yeah. Yeah.
So at times I felt like I'm missing something. Something
Plus
is
the
amiss.
translation from German to English, I'm
Correct.
sure
Correct.
was a little difficult.
Yeah. But that being said, uh, I did have to take a couple days to watch it, and I made my own soundtrack. I started playing Pink Floyd's The Wall. I thought, why not grab another dystopian movie soundtrack?
Right.
And it
Right.
oddly works really, really fucking well. But Pink Floyd in the
That's
background
right.
works pretty much anywhere. So
Right, right.
yeah, so it doesn't matter. It just put some nice, good.
Wizard of
You know,
Oz.
I could have thrown on some John Williams soundtracks or something like that, and it would have actually been good. That was happy music on Tubi. This is not a happy movie.
Tubi had yeah, that music is way too happy. This is dystopian. I've never heard that kind of music associated with this. I've watched my version one time many years
Yeah,
ago. I want to say they put in a few sounds, like when the
yeah,
people are going back and forth with the what
yeah.
uh, dials. You hear them going zing, zing, zing. There's like
That
they
would
would
be
put a
cool.
little something. They're not overly done, but enough
Mhm.
for you to go, oh, that's okay. That's kind of cool. That's kind of neat. I didn't understand some of the mechanics of whatever the hell they were doing with their machines,
You know, but it was 1927,
but
and
yeah,
they
they
came from a different mindset of what
yeah,
because we look at it like this is ridiculous. But dude, these sets. Okay, so let's roll back. This is a futuristic movie set in God knows when. This massive city of Metropolis focuses around the story of a young man and his father who runs the city, but
right,
the young man falls in love with somebody from the other side of the tracks. And this movie, below the city, where all
yeah,
the
below
workers
the tracks.
who keep the city running, to keep the rich in their lifestyle. This movie is swinging its message loud and clear right off the bat.
My,
So,
my first my first text to Scott was, "What is this commie bullshit?"
oh, I know. It's like, wow.
But the message starts getting clearer too. That
Yes,
even some of those poor people aren't what they're
yes,
appearing to be.
yes.
That doctor, that scientist he was just looking to cause trouble.
I love this. I love this guy. He's like, give me 24 hours and I'll make her indistinguishable from human. It's like, wow, they
Yeah,
really thought science was going to really go
yeah.
because we still ain't there, guys.
You look at him and go, "You ain't Japanese. You can't do that." Basically, the guy was making a sex doll.
He was for the city's overseer, and that's what he was, the
Right.
overseer, the dictator, his dead wife,
Yeah.
whose name was Hell. There's
Yeah.
so much symbolism in this movie.
So
We
much.
have we have Maria, who is leading the rebellion underneath.
Mary,
Yes. We have the sacred whore of Babylon, which was
the
Mary's double,
machine. Yeah, the
the
machine
machine.
that Mary was brain swiped into.
Wow. Wow. I mean,
What a great piece of editing, though.
wow.
My,
Yes.
yeah, wow. I was watching that.
Wow.
I had to actually go back and watch that again because I'm looking at it like, how? How did they do that in 1927?
It was
That
amazing.
makeup on that actress as the robot, I'm
So
assuming
good.
I'm assuming Brigitte Helm was also the robot. I'm just
Yeah.
assuming. She gets up and walks in the movie. She's obviously blind because of the stuff that they've got, you
Mhm.
know, on her. Excuse me, on her. But she just moves so well in it,
Yes.
And then
Yes.
I'm sitting there looking at it even when they did the close up, I'm like, okay, that doesn't look like a bodysuit. I think they painted her. I think
Wow.
that's makeup on her. And then I think they have prosthetics on her, like
Oh
partially
yeah.
painted, partially more. And I'm just looking at it like, oh my God. But I gotta just say one thing. The sexy vixen dance didn't do anything for me. I just started laughing. I'm sure in the 1927 that theater was going crazy. But for me, I was just like, it's a great costume, Brigitte.
What
Not being
costume?
as sexy. Not being
Her two little
you're dancing like
pasties.
I dance.
Yeah, it was the most awkward thing I have ever seen. And the over the top reactions from the men. But you know
Oh
what?
God.
I think it was supposed to be that way.
Yeah,
I
I
think it
think
was supposed
so.
to be that way to show this is the machine. This is interesting because here we have a machine that was
You're right.
created,
I didn't think of the machine aspect of her.
and
Okay, well,
her design was to pretty much destabilize everything
right.
to and be a sex doll for the overseer. But yeah, he sent her to destroy the workers. because
Right.
they were below. This was Scrooge, man. This is a prototype, not a prototype, but this is a takeoff of Scrooge in many ways.
This movie, I was watching it, and I do watch the news, and I don't like to get political on this show. I mean, Scott and I do talk politics every once in a while. We agree, we disagree, we get along, we love each other. But this
Sometimes.
movie now, I'm watching, and I'm like, holy shit, this movie could have been made now,
Mhm.
today. And it
Well, that's
speaks
just it.
volumes of well, I'm going to cause, as a government, which is what this overseer guy was, which is the
Mhm.
character Alfred Abel, was Johan Fredersen. He's basically the government of Metropolis,
Mhm.
causing trouble for the people that are actually doing the work. Sound familiar yet? I'm
Mhm.
going to cause all kinds of trouble, get you to revolt, so
Then
I
I'm
have
gonna
a reason to
smash
call
you.
the army to try and crush you down, and
What
then
doesn't that sound familiar?
and I'm watching this like, holy shit!
Yeah. Yeah.
This literally could have been written today.
Well, that's
So
just it.
this has been going
Yeah.
on for forever.
Yes.
I mean, I mean, I know that. I
Yes.
know that.
Yeah. But that's
But
what I got the
know
same
it now.
thing.
Like, I looked at that and I was like, shit, back in 1927 they were doing this shit.
Yeah, and
And
look what happened.
people
This is coming out of Germany in
you would think the rich
1927.
people would figure it out.
Yeah. But look at
Yeah.
Germany. This came out in
In Germany.
1927, and just 20 years
In
later,
Germany.
less than 20 years later, they went full on Metropolis. And
And this was after World War One. This took
Mhm.
place between World War One and World War Two, this movie. Fritz Lang was, I've heard Fritz Lang. I've seen snippets of some of his movies here and there. Watching this movie, knowing that it failed miserably at the theater, this guy was a freaking genius. He
Absolutely.
really was. He was doing stuff with special effects in the camera.
Dude.
He was the Orson Welles of 1920s. Whereas Orson Welles, when he came in and did Rosebud, not Rosebud,
Citizen Kane.
Citizen Kane. I say the quote, Rosebud, Citizen Kane. That was his Metropolis. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
This was absolutely, to watch it. I think I texted you and said this is visually stunning.
Oh,
I
dude,
got
it is
trouble following the
beautiful.
story, but it's visually stunning.
When they show the city and they show all the levels of roads and there are airplanes flying through the city,
Mhm.
I am in shock at how
And all the
good this
cars.
looks. Yes. That's what I'm saying. Everything is there. I'm just in shock over the whole thing being out of the 20s. It's
Mhm.
wow.
the the story does start making sense for me. I
It
know that I
does.
was a little busy doing some things here and there, but when I really sat down and really just focused in on it, I caught up real quick.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
even had I just walked in on the movie where I really started focusing, I would have caught up and figured out what was going on real quick. Good guy, bad guy, what the motivation is. I thought it was interesting, all of the religious icon-
Yes.
iconography,
Oh my god.
icon-
Iconography. Yeah.
iconography. Thank you. Can never
Yeah,
say
that's a
that
hard
word.
one. Yeah.
Yeah, mayonnaise. Uh,
Mayonnaise.
mayonnaise. Sasquatch. Um, ba-dum-bum, ba-dum-bum. Uh, for that to be in this movie, Germany, 1927, Fritz Lang must have been either very Christian or very open to religion, because it wasn't just Christian ideas. I think he
No.
was. I mean, he threw in some.
Well, right off the bat, we see the machinery turn into the god Moloch, which is a Canaanite god,
Yes, yes,
which demands sacrifice. So, how fitting to have the god Moloch, people being sacrificed. This movie is so
yeah.
full of metaphor and allegory. It's just It's
Yeah,
nuts.
and they had, you froze up, I'm sorry.
Yeah, keep talking though. Keep talking.
Okay.
It's good.
The upside down star, the
Yes.
over the robot was, I sent you the image. I think we need to drop that like in here when I'm saying that,
Yes. Yeah,
because
definitely.
that image was, to see that when he spreads the curtains and you see her sitting there and that it's there, it's, like, oh my God, that's, you don't get much more of a negative. Had it been turned up the other way, I'd have been like, oh, she's the good guy. She's okay, this is cool. It's turned upside down. You know she's the bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
Or at least you know she's gonna be the bad guy.
Right. Right.
Just amazing. Just like I said, visually stunning. The story really has a payoff. I was very happy with the way the story pays off in the end.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes. I was
Knowing
afraid.
how to explain and where I thought this story was going to go, I honestly thought the people that I was rooting for were going to die,
Mm-hmm.
because I initially thought, okay, the girl that initially gets captured, I'm like, shit, that's Maria. Oh,
I
fuck.
know.
And then you see her face, and I was like, oh no, that's not her. That
That
girl
was
played that
let's talk
part.
about that. Let's talk about her a second.
Go
The
ahead.
actress who played Maria. She plays two roles: the
Mhm.
robot
Right.
and Dark Maria and Light
Dark
Maria.
Maria.
Uh,
Nice Maria.
she changes so much between the roles.
It's
When
incredible.
she is evil, she moves. That's when she does the weird
Yeah,
moves, the weird
she
dance,
her
the weird.
her shoulders go up, and you're right. I didn't think about the dance and her being a robot at the
It
time.
was so bizarre,
Now it
dude.
makes sense. Now I have no problem with that
Right?
dance.
It's still
Now I
bizarre.
have zero problem with that dance, knowing that, fuck, right, she was a robot. She has no idea how to dance sexy.
No.
She's imitating it.
Yeah.
So yeah, so folks, yeah, that seems even
Yeah.
better now in my head. That
What
absolutely
really
think,
sells that though is the audience during the dance. The men
oh
are
yeah,
going crazy, and what you're
that's horny.
seeing is she is
Horny
she
from the
is using as the representation of the whore of Babylon. She
yeah,
comes in
yeah.
riding on a dragon of seven heads, representing the seven deadly sins, and they do
Yeah,
show
we're
all of
even
that.
talking about it.
I
Oh,
know it's just so in your face, and it's like there's so much religion and weird stuff thrown in here. I
all shit to look out for, folks. Just let you know.
this is a hard movie to watch just because it's missing things that we're used to. I recommend watching this because this is one of those things. This is like Kurosawa. You have to go watch the things that set up everything else. This is a
Oh yeah,
pivotal piece
yeah.
of cinema. As like I told you, I'm going to have a hard time getting through this. Once I change the music, it's smooth sailing. So that
That's
makes a
how I
difference.
felt. As soon as I put away the Tubi version, because that fucking music didn't match
Mm,
Tubi. I love you guys. I love you guys, but you need to
yeah, but
find
that
another.
version's bad, man.
You need to find another version of different music. The one I found on YouTube had good music. Some of it wasn't all the classic music that I'm used to, but it was almost like somebody went in and wrote a score that was like, I'm going to be this, but not exactly. I'm going to give it a little twist. And the music flowed really well
Right.
with the imagery, I thought. So find
That's
a good,
good.
you got to find some almost melancholy music
Yes.
that peps up when there's a happy moment going on and then comes back down when
Yeah.
the melancholy is going on. It's so good.
It
And that
can't be all
asshole
happy.
wouldn't shake
It's
that dude's hand. I was so pissed.
oh
Pick the
yeah.
son. I just saved your entire city, your life, your daughter, your son.
The
I didn't
Messiah.
shake their hand.
The Messiah. And
Yeah,
they
that's
called him the
exactly what it was.
mediator.
The mediator was the Messiah, was the kid who came in between Mary and the devil, or God and the devil, which she was playing the goddess part. She wasn't
Yes.
playing so much a god role. She was playing
No.
a goddess part.
Mm-hmm.
And she basically sacrificed herself,
Yeah.
in a very real sense. Her
Yeah.
evil side was destroyed, and she came up an extra step. I mean, she had excelled.
Lots of
The
symbolism here.
gig,
Man, this is
oh,
a
but
smart
yeah,
movie.
folks. The more I'm thinking about it, the more, because I was thinking about this all day, like stuff here and there.
Yeah.
But sitting here talking to somebody that saw it, like, With you, it's like pulling it out more like, oh my God, yeah, oh my God, there's this and there's that. The mullet, the man in the machine when the light comes on, he's got to twist the arm here.
Yeah,
The light comes on over here, he's got to twist it there. I don't
makes
know
no
why the
sense.
machinery was working that way. I don't know. But that's what they had to do. And for whatever reason, they got really tired doing it.
Well, they did it for 10
It did.
hours. Um,
And work
but what was
small.
cool is when they showed the workers how they all
Oh,
walked
from the
in
opening
step.
scene.
It's so, this movie's brilliant. Again,
Yeah.
it's hard. I get it if you don't want to watch it, but I do
Yeah.
recommend it if you want to know about film. This is a smart movie. It's beautiful. I can't believe
Yep.
the stuff they pulled off, and I am shocked that it did poorly because I would have thought that the crowds in the 20s seeing this on the screen would have shit their pants like we did when we saw Star Wars.
You know what?
You know?
I think they did, but I think the problem was it was too damn long. And
Yeah.
I was thinking,
I'll give them that.
until I found out that it failed at the box office, I was just always under the assumption that this thing was such a huge hit worldwide.
Yes.
And I'm like, they must have just been really hungry for film. And this was new. Like you said, Star Wars. But to find out that it failed, I was like, of course it failed once I found out how long the goddamn thing was at the theater. And I'm still not sure how long it was. I'm assuming it had to
We
be
still don't know.
3 hours. There
Yeah,
is
that's
something interesting here. I want to read this out real quick. Much to Fritz Lang's dismay, Adolf Hitler and Joseph Goebbels were big fans of the film.
I bet they were.
Yeah. Goebbels met with Lang and told him that he could be made an honorary Aryan despite his Jewish background. Goebbels told Mr. Lang, "We decide who is Jewish and who is not." Lang left for Paris that very night.
Good for Lang.
I had no
Holy
idea.
crap.
I had no idea Fritz Lang was Jewish.
I didn't either. But holy
I
shit.
had no idea.
That's of course Goebbels and Hitler loved the movie. Of course they did. And we'll make you an honorary Aryan because we decide. That sounds about right. I'm glad he got away.
That would terrify me. That would fucking terrify me. That would fucking terrify me.
Wow.
And Goebbels needed a bullet in his head, but that's a whole other subject.
Wow. Wow, dude.
It says here unemployment and inflation were so bad in Germany at the time that the producers had no trouble finding 500 children to film the flooding sequences. They said they had over 6,000 extras in this.
I believe it.
This is saying 4,000.
Yeah. There's a lot of extras in
this.
this.
I watched last night said they had like 6,000. So somewhere between 4,000 to 6,000 people probably. Just extras wandering around and running for their life. Oh my God, that's crazy.
Yeah, this is a
classic. This is a classic. I'm glad you wanted to watch it.
I am too. Like I said, I won't be picking very many more silent films just because they are. I'm sorry, they're a hard watch. they really are.
There's a few that I think you'll like. There are a few.
You know, Nosferatu was good, but again, I struggle with it. So, yeah, but it's I want the talkies, David. I want the talkies, but this is definitely
but there is one that we've got to watch.
We'll do it. We will do it.
Whatever it is.
What is it?
Wings.
It's
the one with the trail.
Yes, we will be watching that. Absolutely, I have no problem with that.
And I just
I'll watch more, but yeah. Yes.
But we can wait a month or so.
Yeah,
this
wait a bit.
Was a tough one. And folks, I don't mean to say it was tough as in, I don't know, physically, mentally. I was having a hard time getting into it until I started getting into it. And the minute I was like, holy crap, look at that. Holy crap. Oh, this guy's the good guy. Oh, who's this guy? They had this villain that was a hitman. He looked.
Oh, he's great. He's great,
like
man.
He could kill people by.
Yeah, they called him the Thin Man. Yeah.
Oh my God, he was. He looked the part. Let me just say, this guy looked the part of an assassin. And and he winds up telling the one guy, "Yeah, you know your son's down there. Yeah, you're flooding the city. You just blew up your machinery. oh, by the way, you know where your son is? Down
He's
there with
down
the
there.
work that you're trying to kill. And the dad freaks out. It's like it's the only person he's got.
Yeah.
You know? It's like,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah. So it takes his dad that long to realize,
yeah, yeah. They actually
it's
love the son.
this movie. Man, I watched this and I wanted to sit down and write the screenplay for it.
Yeah.
I wanted to write a screenplay based on this.
I
I
was
think
looking at this movie last
it's
night, thinking
brilliant.
the same type of thing like this. I would hate to see I would hate to see a remake per se.
No, because this story is done so many times. The last time I remember is Elysium with Matt
Right,
Damon.
right,
So that's this whole setup is always done in video games and movies. You have the
right.
class below keeping the rich rich. It's
And you
it's
know
a
where they get it now.
Yeah, and this movie sets it up. So we watched a rom com that set up the rom coms. We just watched a sci-fi movie that sets up all the sci-fi or futuristic
All
dystopian
all
thrillers.
sci-fi. I would say all dystopian sci-fi up to
Dystopian, yes,
1977 when
yes,
Star Wars came out. It was like that's not sci-fi. This is sci-fi. This is
yeah,
hopeful,
yes.
and that's really changed everything at that point.
Hmm.
But yeah, up until then, you had Planet of the Apes, you had Soylent Green, you had I'm trying to think of there was
A
another.
lot of dystopian movies,
Yeah,
yeah,
there's a
and
couple
they
before these
still are.
that are not
Because the reason they work is because what you said early on, it's
mhm,
relevant to now, and
always
that's
is.
a shame.
That's you would think that the good people would finally get fed up with it and just take out the trash finally. And I think one day that's got to happen if we want to go forward as a people, and I mean
We got to
that
take
as
out the trash.
humanity. The rest of the garbage has just got to be taken out, and
Yeah,
we got to be the ugly people. I mean, there's an old saying, and it's kind of an old recognition, I should say. God never chooses the nice people to lead his people. He always chooses the bastard. Moses was a bastard. He was chosen by God because he was a bastard and he'd get the job done.
hmm.
King David was chosen by God because he was a bastard. He'd get the job done. Just saying, you sometimes you gotta be a
Well, yeah.
bastard
Take a
to
take a
get
look at
the job done.
take a look at all the saints. So yeah,
Exactly. What saint was a nice guy? None of them. There wasn't
they
a
all have
nice saint.
issues.
Yeah, they all had some minor issues. All I'm saying, and
Some
that's not to
minor,
take
some
anything
huge.
away from their greatness. I
Absolutely.
mean, I'm just saying, like sometimes you got to look at the bastard and go, I got to follow the bastard for a while. And this is
Yep.
where it goes. I've been trying to follow the guys who say they're the good guys.
Hmm.
Look where
And
it
there you
got
go.
us.
And there you are. There you are. So
Here we
this
are.
movie is a great, and I do mean great. It
Oh yeah.
deserves any praise it gets.
Mhm.
The acting is fine. It's just a shame because we can't hear the actors, and that's just because of technology. I always thought it'd be
Could have been in
part.
German anyway.
It's fine. I still would love to hear them, but part of me also wants to take this movie and edit it down to an hour and a half, and go in and record voiceovers.
Yeah, right.
I want to go dub it, so
With a
and
German
fully sound it
accent.
and stuff.
There
Yeah.
is my son. Your son is with the workers.
Oh my
Why is
god.
my son with the workers? You sent him down there.
Maybe
You
I should just do one scene, and you and I can do the voices.
I get to
You
do
can do
Maria.
Maria. Yes. Hello. Anyway.
Hello. I'll do it with
Guten
a French
Tag.
accent. I will speak with Maria with a French accent.
Yeah, because why not?
Hello.
Why
Hello,
not?
Federer.
Yeah,
What kind of name is Federer?
I know. I know. I don't know. It's
I
about
did
as good as
like one thing.
Jehoshaphat.
The names are odd. But Jehoshaphat is in the Bible again. So
Another biblical reference. I know. So is Joseph. So
I
is
didn't know about
Mary.
Federer. I was trying to figure out where else
Frederer,
the
Saint
Federer
Frederer,
from.
the patron saint of spinach, I think. But
The good thing is there is a scene. that I'm glad they set up. There's a scene towards the end, and then I'll try and stop. I'll try and stop talking. Where
Right.
Predator has to run to Maria. He's trying to find Maria. The gang has got Maria. They're gonna. Do we want to ruin this? Do what? I mean,
No, no, I don't want to ruin it.
I'll
It
just say
has a
the
good
gang's
ending.
got Maria. They're gonna do something bad to her, and he's
Yeah.
running and he's running. I mean, this guy is fucking running. He's fighting at one point. He's hitting people, and I'm like, this guy's really a badass. He's just beating the shit out of people. Oh, he's got hit on the head. Okay. But I'm watching this guy, and initially I'm like, this guy should. How the hell is he still running? But they show in the very beginning of the movie he
Yes,
is
thank
an
you.
athlete, not just an athlete, but he is like Olympic level athletic. Even for the time, I'm sorry, that was real athletics back then. He didn't have spongy fucking shit to run on for speed. This guy was an athlete. They show him running. They show him I think they show him throwing the javelin.
They sure
He's
do. I
he's
completely let that go and thought, well, that was just showing the rich and their excess with all their
yeah,
sports and Olympic,
which it
kind of like the
was,
Romans with their games.
but it also sets him up
Yes,
later
it
on
does.
to show that he can actually do the stuff
Yes.
that he's doing. And I was like,
Yes.
that is what's missing in so much storytelling nowadays.
Yes.
You know, they talk about the Mary Sues that just, I'm the greatest ever, and
Yeah,
I'm
well,
going to
we
be
need to see how you
elected
got that way.
ever. And they never explain how the person got to be that what
Right.
they were.
Like at least in Chopping Mall, the girl's dad was a Marine, so that meant she could shoot.
Yeah, you
Sorry.
know how to shoot.
But
My dad was a
at
Marine.
least,
What the
I
fuck
made a
question
joke,
I
but
asked?
it's you know what? I made a joke, but it's true. At least it set up and gave an explanation for why, even though it was ridiculous, it went there instead of they were just, hey, I can do it.
Yeah, you had to take it for granted that the dad showed her how to shoot.
Yes.
You
At
know,
least the setup was there.
the setup is kind of there, right? Um, but yeah, it's a good movie. It does everything that you need it to do to set it up.
It
There
does.
are chunks of it missing. I think even today there are chunks of this motion picture
It feels
missing.
that way because
I
there's a
feel like,
spot where it stops and you start getting big title cards and it's like what's happening and then there's like a time
and
jump.
it's
It's like
telling you what you're missing in the
yes,
title card,
yeah.
which is good because you're like, how
What
do
just
you even
happened?
know
Yeah,
what's missing?
I don't know. I don't
I
know
don't
how they
know.
would know what's missing. So yeah, I don't know.
But I would like to watch the 4 hour one next. That's going to be my.
Oh
I'm going
Lord,
to do
you're
this.
on your
I'm going
own.
to do that. I'm going to do that in increments. If I ever do it, I'll let you know. We
You
don't have
are
to have
on
a
your
show
own,
for it,
brother.
but I'll let you know if it's worth watching. It's a good movie. It's Fritz Lang. This guy, he did so much stuff. I think he did a couple of horror movies too for the German Gothic, whatever the hell they call it, vibe that he did. He did. I think he's the one who did the streets where this monster or this devil thing is moving and all the buildings are crooked.
Ah,
Everything's like sideways to give you a sense of unbalance throughout the story. And then again, whenever people are talking normal, everything's up straight. Like in Frankenstein, you went into Frankenstein's castle, everything was kind of Batman tilt. Whatever. It's got a name for it, but I forgot what
Dutch angle,
the Dutch angle.
but I'm not sure
That
why. Uh,
that just sounds dirty.
it does. It's like a dirty Sanchez, only
Yes,
different.
that just sounds dirty.
Yeah.
I don't think too much about that.
No, not at all. Not at all.
But
Not at
yeah,
all.
Fritz Lang, man, I'm gonna have to try and dig this cat up and read a little bit more about him. I need to find a book
Absolutely.
on this movie.
I
Find out
do.
more
I would
about it.
love to see if there's a documentary or something on out there. This was fascinating to me.
Crazy.
This one of my favorite and hardest movies to watch. So because like I
Yeah,
said, it just leaves such an impression. The effects alone, the miniature work, the special in camera effects, it is so ahead of its time.
that transformation and the electrical shocks and the
So
stuff
good.
blowing up, it's
Dude, I
all
was
in
wondering how they were
camera.
getting that so well. It wasn't drawn on. It's like, did they really have
No,
Tesla coils going?
there's a thing that I was reading that's like they didn't have that kind of stuff. It's all in camera. I'm
It's
like,
amazing.
how? Man,
It's
how
amazing.
is that in camera?
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's just absolutely crazy. The guy when he's on the TV, he's like talking to
dude,
one
they
guy
had
telling him to
video
open the doors.
conferencing.
They had
1927, a video call, FaceTime.
so
What the hell?
tell me we are where we're supposed to be technologically. Bullshit. Bullshit. That's all I'm saying. My conspiracy theories out there, calling bullshit on this. We should have the flying cars.
Yeah, we should. We should have a lot of things. Something happened.
Anyway,
That's for another
fine.
podcast. Anyway.
I gotta start working on it again. Now that I'm
Yeah.
in my
There we
underground.
go. Yeah. So definitely, my take, watch Metropolis. You'll be better for it.
Watch Metropolis. You will be better for it. And anything by Fritz Lang, I think is good. It's going to be
Absolutely.
good. I'm going to look up some more stuff from him. I think I've underrated him.
Yes.
I knew him, but I've never really studied him. Now I'm going to study him.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, folks, if you like what you see or hear, hit the like, hit the share, hit the subscribe, and drop us a line. Send us an email, give us a thumbs up, thumbs down, whatever. You know. Yeah. Tell us if you want us to talk about anything old, because we are keeping it old at Old Ass Movie Reviews. Catch you next week.